Welcome to the next session of Programming for Problem Solving. The topic of the day is strings. A string in C is a derived data type, which is a sequence of characters. So, a single character, when grouped together in the form of an array, it is called a string. More formally, a string is a collection of characters terminated by a null character. This is an important characteristic of a string. A string, which is a collection of characters, is terminated using a null character. So that means the last character of a string is always a null character. How we declare a string in C? There are two statements or two methods using which we can declare a string in C programming language. In the first method, you can declare a string by defining the size of the string just like an array. So give the name of the string and then specify the size or the maximum size of the string. The second method, you do not require to specify the size. Simply use the dereference operator before the identifier name to indicate that you want to create a string. Consider the two examples at the bottom. In the first example, a character string named name is created. The maximum size of the string is 30. In the second example, we are again creating a string named name, but there is no need to specify the size of the string. Initializing a string. The example that we saw in the last slide only declared or prototyped a string. It did not define the string. That means we did not initialize a string with a initial value. So in this, we are going to see the different methods using which we can initialize the string. In the very first example, a string has been created and then the value assigned to the string is enclosed within the double quotes, as you can see in this particular example. The string name, the maximum size of which is 10, has been assigned the value ABHI, and this value has been assigned within the double quotes. When you assign a value within the double quotes to a string, it is automatically terminated using a null character. So if you look at the memory representation of the string, the first character in the array is A, the second one is B, the third one is H, and the fourth one is I, and it is automatically terminated with the help of a null character. The maximum number of characters that can be stored in a string with size 10 is 9, because the last character is reserved for the null character. So the maximum size of the array can be 9. Now let's have a look at the second example to initialize the string. Here we are not using the double quotes, but instead a single quotes. The single quotes can be enclosed within the curly braces, and all the individual characters are separated using the comma operator. So what is the value of the first character in the array is A. The value of the second element of the string is B. The value of the third element is H, and the value of the fourth element is I. As you can see in the memory representation right here, it does not include the null character at the end of the string. So this is the drawback of initializing a string with the help of single quotes. The null character is not inserted at the end of the string. So what is the solution for that? Look at the third example. Here we are again using the single quotes to initialize the character array or a string, and the null character has been manually inserted at the position number 5. So as you can see in the memory representation right here, the null character is now present in the string at the end. So what do we conclude? If we use the double quotes to initialize a string, there is no need to insert the null character. It is automatically inserted. And if you are using the single quotes, then you need to manually assign the null character at the end of the string. Taking the string input using the scanf function. You are already aware of the scanf function. The scanf function is used to accept the input from the user. We will look into this example statement by statement, how the program actually works. If you look at the statement number 1, a character string has been created whose maximum length is 15. The second statement is used to accept the input from the user. Percentage S specifier has been used to indicate that the value that we are accepting is a string value. And when you accept a string value, as you can see here, there is no need to use the reference operator. That means there is no need to use the ampersand operator. The last line is used to display the value entered by the user. Again, the percentage S specifier has been used and the value to be displayed is string str. Now let's have a look at the output of the program. Let us suppose that the user inputs Dinesh Gupta. So you can observe that after H of Dinesh, there is a blank space inserted by the user and followed by Gupta. The output of the program is interestingly only Dinesh. So what happened to the value space Gupta? Now the scanf function in C has a drawback that when it is used for the string input, the value is terminated when a user enters the blank space. So when the user entered D, I, N, E, S, H, and then the user entered the blank space, the scanf function does not accept any value after the blank space or including the blank space itself. So what is the value that is actually stored in the str? The value stored inside the str string is only Dinesh. So this is a big drawback of using the scanf function for the string input. To overcome this problem, we can use the gets function. Gets function is used to accept the input of a string. Now let's have a look at the example program right here. Most of the program is the same as we saw in the last slide. The first line is used to create a character string. Now here is the difference. This statement is used to accept the value of a string using the gets function. And then the value of the string is displayed using the printf function. Now let's have a look at the output. Let us suppose that the user enters Dinesh Gupta. The output is also Dinesh Gupta. That means the gets function is capable of accepting the inputs which includes blank space as well. So this is an advantage of using the gets function over the scanf function while accepting the input for the string. The third method is different from the first two methods because it accepts the character by character input of the string. Now let's have a closer look at the program. Here again we have created a string with a maximum size of 15 characters. The most important statement in this program is this while loop. It is a single statement, but within this statement, it includes a number of sub-statements. First of all, have a closer look at this statement. CH is equals to get CHE. Now what is get CHE? Get CHE is a function that is used to accept the input of the single character. There is no need to press the enter key. When a user presses any key, the input is accepted from the user and it is transferred to the character which is placed on the left side of the assignment operator. As you can see that on the left side of the assignment operator, we have CH. So CH is equals to get CHE. What this statement is supposed to do, it is supposed to accept an input from the user, a character input from the user without having to press the enter key. Now it checks whether the input given by the user is equal to 13 or not. Now what is 13? 13 is the ASCII code of enter key. Now if the user has pressed the enter key, the loop will terminate. And if the user has not pressed the enter key, then the character input given by the user will be stored inside the string. Now at which position will the CH will be stored inside the string? That is decided by the value of the variable count, which is initially 0. That means the first character that a user inputs is stored at the first position in the string. And then the value of the count variable is incremented by 1. That means the second character input given by the user will be stored at the second position inside the string. This while loop will continue until or till the user does not press the enter key. Once the user presses the enter key, this loop will terminate, and then the program manually inserts the null character at the end of the string. Now the string has been successfully stored in the string variable, and then you can display the value of the string. So let's have a look at the output. Let us suppose if the user enters DINESH space GUPTA and then the user pressed the enter key. So all these characters one by one are stored in the string str, and then the same is displayed in the output. I hope the program is clear to you and you are able to understand how we can accept the character by character input of a string from the user. String library functions. C provides a set of library functions for handling strings. These strings are actually prototyped in the string.h. So you need to include this file in your program if you want to use the different library functions. So there is a list of some of the library functions that are provided in the C language. strlen, that is string length. String concatenation stands for strcat. String copy. String cmp stands for string compare, and string reverse. We will have a look at all these 5 string library functions one by one. So the first library function, string function that we are going to see is string length. Now what is the objective of the string length function? This function is used to return the length of the string. So if a user has given certain input to the string, one thing you have is the maximum size of the string. The other thing is what is the length of the string that has been given or stored inside that string. They both are different. If you look at the figure below right here, you can see that the total size of the string is 10, starting from 0 up to 9. But the value inside or stored in the string variable is less than 10. So it does not necessarily means that if you have created a string of a size 10, that the value stored inside the string will also be of size 10. So there is obviously a difference, or there might be a difference between the length of the string and the size of the string. So how can we find the length of the string? So this statement can be used to accept the input from the user here. You can use the scanf or you can use the gets function to accept the input from the user. The next statement is used to find the length of the string. The function used is string length. The parameter passed is a string variable. You can also pass a string constant, and it will return an integer value which is stored in an integer variable length. You can see right here, this is the syntax of the string length function. Name of the function is strlen. The argument passed to the function is a character string, and the value returned by the function is the integer value. Now please understand that the length of the string does not include the null character. As you can see below, the user entered Abhinav and it is automatically followed by the null character. So this null character will not be included in the length of the string. So what is the actual length of the string? The actual length of the string is 7 and not 8. So a string length function is very critical. You need to find out the length of the string a number of times before you can apply certain high level processing on the strings. The second library function is strcat. The strcat function stands for string concatenation. Now what does it mean? This function is used to concatenate two strings. What do we understand by concatenation of the two strings? Concatenation means to append a string at the end of another string. So if you have two string values, we are going to append the value of the second string at the end of the first string. Even in simpler terms, add the content of the second string at the end of the first string. What is the syntax? You can see right here. This is the syntax of the strcat string concatenation function. Two strings are passed. First is character ch1. As an example, it does not necessarily means it has to be ch1. First is the character string and second is the constant character string. Now what will happen after this statement is executed? The two strings will be concatenated and the value of the concatenated strings will be stored in the string passed in the first argument. So let's have a look at the example. Scanf function is used to accept the input for both the strings str1 and str2. Then the string concatenation function has been called. Now what will happen? The concatenation of both the strings will be saved in the string which is mentioned in the first parameter. So there you can see the output. Let us suppose that the user entered Abhinav in str1 and the user entered Gupta in the str2. When the concatenation function is called string concatenate, the Gupta value will be added at the end of Abhinav and the value will be saved in str1. So the new value of str1, as you can see in the output, is Abhinav Gupta. It does not include the blank space because the blank space was neither part of the string 1 and it was neither part of the string 2. I hope you are able to understand the concept of string concatenation. The program is given here. It is a snapshot of the program. You can write the complete program in the lab. The next function or the string library function is strcpy. It stands for string copy function. Now what is a string copy function? It is used to copy the contents of one string into another string. How it is different from the string concatenation? In string concatenation, the content of the second string were appended or added at the back of the content of first string. But here, what will happen is that the content of the second string will be copied into the value of the string number 1. So that means the initial value, if any, there was in the string 1 will be replaced by the content of the string 2. So this is the syntax of the two character strings have been passed, and the content of the second string will be copied to the content of the first string. Now let's have a look at the program. Scanf function has been used to accept the input of the two strings, and here the content of str2 have been replaced by the content of str1. So whatever is the value of str1 will be copied into the content of str2. So what was the initial value of str1 as inputted by the user? Abhinav, what is the content of str2 given by the user? That is Gupta. And if you look at these two arguments very carefully, the content of str1 will be copied into str2. So after the string copy function has been successfully executed, the content of str will become equal to the content of str1. So I hope you are able to understand the difference between the string concatenation and string copy. String concatenation appends the value, whereas string copy replaces the value. The next library, string library function, is called string compare, strcmp. This function is basically used to compare the content of the two strings. If the two strings are same, then the function will return 0. Because there is no difference between the two strings, the value returned by the string compare function will be 0. Otherwise, it will return the difference in the ASCII codes of the two. If the first string is greater than the second string, then the positive value will be returned. Otherwise, the negative value will be returned. This is the syntax of the string compare function. It will accept two arguments, and both these arguments are character strings. And the value returned by the string compare function is int. 0 if the two strings are same, and non-zero if the two strings are not same. Now let's have a look at the program. Scanf function is used to accept the input between for the two strings str1 and str2. Now this is a very important statement in this program. An if statement has been used, and here what we have written as the condition inside the condition part of the if statement is str compare str2 comma str1. So we are basically calling the string compare function. If the two strings are 0, are same, then the value returned will be 0. And because the not logical operator have been used in front of it, if the two strings are same, then it will return 0, and the not will convert the 0 into 1. So this if statement returns 1 if the two strings are same. So what is the output inside the if statement? Strings are same. I repeat how the evaluation of the condition part of the if statement is done. String compare function will return 0 only if the two strings are same, and the not will convert that 0 into 1. So 1, which means true, will only be returned if the two strings are same. So if the user enters Abhinav in string 1 and user also enters Abhinav in string 2, the output that will be displayed on the screen is the strings are same. So this is how the string compare function works. The last library function that we are going to see here is string reverse function. The string reverse function is used to reverse the contents of a string. Reverse basically means if you look at integer value 1, 2, 3, What is the reverse of 1, 2, 3? 3, 2, 1. Similarly, you can also reverse the contents of a string using the string reverse function. What is the syntax of the string reverse function? As you can see here, a string is passed as an argument to the string reverse function, and the string reverse function will reverse that string and return the value in the same string. So as you can see in the program, the scanf function is used to accept the input of the string str1, and then the string reverse function is called and str1 is passed as argument to the string reverse function. When the string reverse function will reverse the value of the string str1, the reversed value will again be returned into the same string. So if the user enters Abhinav in str, then the reverse of the same will be VANIHBA. The null character will stay at the same position. So this is how the string reverse function actually works. It is used to reverse the contents of a string. So I hope in this lecture you were able to understand what is a string, how we can create a string in C programming language, how we can initialize the value of the string, what is the role of the null character in the string. Then we saw the different methods for accepting the input of a string. We were able to understand the difference between the use of scanf and gets function for accepting the input of a string. And in the end, we saw 5 library functions that are provided by the C compiler that can be used for handling the string. I hope you enjoyed the lecture, and I recommend that you practice all the programs that were given in this lecture in the lab. Thank you.